Team, it's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Jayachandran, the founder, director, e-security audit consultancy firm, and is based out of Bangalore. Quite interestingly, I can keep talking about him because I worked with him very closely for, past so many years. Mr. Jayachandran comes with over 30 years of experience in IT management, including 20 years of experience in information security governance and information systems audit. I'm sure this topic is going to be quite interesting. By the way, the topic is going to address us on privacy issues in Industry 4.0. Whatever the previous panel talked about, not only that, since yesterday, I'm sure that most of things would get covered over here. He holds multiple academic degrees and IT certifications adapted in cyber security strategy, development, compliance, and risk management. Collaborated with many large organizations to improve internal controls and led industry initiatives to strengthen and enhance IT governance, risk and compliance processes, practices, and skill sets to significantly impact the businesses and institutional performance. He worked with the industry verticals, including manufacturing, IT-enabled services, data centers, government departments, and educational institutions. He has handled more than 500, consulting assignments, certification assignments in 24 countries, not only in India, right? Outside 24 countries, on-site to provide advanced compliance consulting on frameworks. Quite interesting. As I said, I had worked with him, so I can, confidently talk about him. And if any industry, any vertical, any project, any product, any organization, I have seen him, how he works or conducts the risk assessment, which is the basis for whatever we are talking about it. And I'm sure he is going to add value. Let's all listen to him. And Mr. Jayachandran, floor is yours. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ramesh.
Yeah.
And I especially thank Mr. Navi for arranging this event, and really tremendous effort went. Yesterday was really, while hearing Mr. Sri Krishna, it was really a wonderful experience. In fact, every session we hear, even today's session, it adds more value, and we can't keep adding the slides with the knowledge what is limited. With that, the perspective towards Industry 4.0 I would like to give. As I worked with manufacturing sector for a period of more than 15 years, I do understand various things, what is implemented in supply chain. It's way back behind, you can say 20 years back itself. I was working for one of the largest the sportswear brand, where those times they used to implement it from the point of product traceability. They used to implement with the barcode. In Europe, the things manufactured in Bangalore and the material sold in Europe or any other continent, the user, if he finds something faulty in that sportswear, he can immediately trace that it was manufactured in which country, and then in which shift, which tailor stitched that garment to that level of traceability we implemented in 20 years back. Okay, with using barcode, simple barcode systems. Okay, today we between 20 years we exponentially enhanced our technology capability, and that's where the Industry 4.0 comes. I would like to start with a brief introduction about the Industry 4.0, and then we will move ahead how this Industry 4.0 implementations and the architecture will more affect the privacy. Okay, that's what the topic today, and I hope my screen is visible. Is my screen visible? Yeah.
Coming up, sir. Great, it is. Thank you.
Great. So, it is numbered like 1, 2, 3, 4, but there are many revolutions took place in industry in various decades. Okay. So if you take the classification as per the industry 4.0, the 17th century, the industry 1, where the mechanical devices been invented, and then the productivity improved. Then later in the 18th century, the assembly line and the mass production have been introduced with a lot amount of automation using mechanical and electrical innovations. The later from means after our birth, it is 19th century, after 1960. You can see this currently what we are seeing, the robotics and whatever the current model of production systems which is there in the legacy manufacturing units, that is already been implemented. Now, what is going on in the last few years? Okay, you can say exactly from the 2008 or 9. From that point onwards, the IoT and the cloud, various internet-based techniques and the enhancements and the infrastructure. This has significantly improved the collaboration, and then those capabilities being incorporated into the industry 4.0, which helps the organization to meet the customer expectations. Not only that, various level of productivity needs. So that is what we call it as industry 4.0. This particular word or the terminology been coined in the year 2011 from Germany. Okay. So primarily this the terminology was coined by Mr. Klaus Schwab from Germany. He's the World Economic Forum founder and chairman. Okay. So his statement, okay, it means you need to be fast. It is not that if you are big, it is not sufficient enough. You need to be fast to react to the customer expectations and the market, how it reacts. Okay. So that's what making you to the winning, the success. Okay. So he also says the fourth industrial revolution will touch the essence of human experience. Okay, that we already feel. Okay, you can see, we first use this simple, booking the aggregated taxis, and then later this food chain means whatever the ordering of food online. So these all suddenly grown, and added to this pandemic period in the last 2 years made a tremendous comeback onto these requirements. Okay, so these all adds, the technology need to be much more used in a collaborative manner. Okay, while using this, the fundamental behind all these things is data. Okay, so the more and more data being collected, what is collected for what, there is no limitation over there. So this data-oriented collaboration and integration is what making the industry 4.0, and primarily the business expectations set for the as per the McKinsey, the productivity. There are various expectations. There are, you can say, productivity increase, and then increase in the technical professional capabilities, then cost of inventory holding. Okay, holding the in various storage locations, the holding cost, how much to reduce, cost of the quality, how to reduce, and the forecasting and accuracy of consumer behavior and consumption. Those things, how can we improve? So these all, unless we get the timely data from the consumer side, it is not very easy to achieve the objective of Industry 4.0. That's where the technology, completely integrated models, completely one-on-one intelligent decision-making models being implemented. Okay. So if you see the ecosystem the complete from the consumer side to the actual manufacturing side, it is completely integrated. In a way, you just go to Amazon and you pick the item, and before you go to the checkout button, it intimates to the go down or the warehouse that this kind of one order is expected. So that much level of immediate information is passing through the Industry 4.0 framework. Okay, so it is how it is achieved. Okay, it is achieved by establishing a very strong communication between all these elements. Okay, this is achieved based upon this 9 technological pillar. Okay, which is evolved in the last you can say we can say exactly 10 years period. Okay, so I don't want to completely tell about all these 9 pillars. All of us know. Actually speaking, the cloud computing and the big data and Internet of Things, these 3 made a lot amount of enablement in the implementation of Industry 4.0. Okay, and moreover, this mobile technology and various other capabilities on internet-based applications also improved the capabilities of integrating that with the Industry 4.0 expectations. Okay. So out of these 9 pillars, I would like to take today where our concern of today's topic is the privacy. Okay. So many, all of these 9 pillars may affect the privacy, data privacy in some point, but primarily I would like to say there are 3 important areas where the privacy impact will be very high, and those vulnerabilities will give furthermore trouble to the privacy objectives. Okay, so how if you take the integration or overlap of this model into the cyber physical architecture for the Industry 4.0, this all contributes, okay, in various ways, okay, to achieve the objectives. So in that, I have taken this big data, industrial IoT, okay, and mass communication, logistics, and also cobot. Okay, cobot is collaborative robots. Okay, so these technologies, adds more, intelligence and quick reactive models. Okay, so these things will really, handle a large amount of privacy data. Okay, how it is? I would like to give, based on the various discussions and various papers I referred, and also in the throughout my career, more than 20 years I spent with various consumer-oriented goods manufacturing organization, right from the sanitary ware manufacturing to garment manufacturing, various manufacturing sector. In most of these places, their primary goal is the capacity planning and expansion and forecasting. Okay. If the business forecasting is not accurate, many of the speculation may go wrong, and which will lead to the profitability and various, it will reflect into the financial reports. So that's where the organizations were more keen about understanding the market reaction and how to promote their products in the market. For all of these things, the primary input is coming from the consumer behavior. Okay, the consumer behavior, you see, unlike earlier days, today, the moment you purchase, you go and update that into your Facebook or social networks, and where possible, okay, either by way of a feedback or social networks you are communicating. So by reading this, they can see that what in this particular period, what is being purchased, what they enjoy more, this kind of intelligence they are getting. So it becomes very easy today because of our day-to-day our consumer behavior in operating in the internet and various information forums. That becomes very easy to collect that information. So the data collection from various points, that is what becoming the fundamental of this all enablement of this industry 4.0. Okay, so if you see the consumer behavior today, 5 billion connected to the web by 2025. Okay, so every you can take from even last week I've seen one news that even the person comes with bull to take some money from that, during the occasion days they used to come. Such people are also coming with a Paytm sticker to collect the money. So that means the technology penetration to gone to that level that everybody holding one smart device in their hand. Okay. So that makes easy to get the input quickly and then react to that and then improve your overall, the capabilities of the manufacturing setup. Okay. So primarily, how these data collected for what? Okay, these data are mostly consumer behavior. Okay. Consumer provided data is collected for these three primary purposes. Number one is market innovation. Number two is customer innovation. Number three is product innovation. Okay, how this is happening and what kind of data being collected, that's what I would like to discuss. Okay. Number one, market innovation. Yeah, we know, we in India is a very, very diverse country. In various regions, various festivals being celebrated. And even if the festivals are not there also, today a lot of new festivals also been created. So such kind of times, okay, what will sell? Okay, if you take today Times of India, daily some kind of sale they will put, monthly one sale. But there is no reason that whether it is Diwali sale or Puja sale or various different festivals, that identification that in which region what festival is going on and what kind of customers are there, what commodities and goods will go. That identification is profiled based on the past sales data. So this gives a lot amount of visibility in the form of logistics, what goods to be moved where and where the procurement or the purchase will be more in this particular season. So the seasons and the festivals and consumer behavior, even ethnicity in some geographies where migrated population also may be settled, but they will be celebrating some festival over there. If they profile that in that particular region, this regional people are staying, even that area, they can announce the sale and this thing. So the data are being collected to understand which geography, what kind of festivals, and various things, celebrations are happening. That time to sell, to create an opportunity to sell. This profiling is happening. So this data normally, okay, in India, you know that every month, a lot of discount sales been announced, particularly for the festivals. Okay, so they need to be very clear about in which area or which geography, what kind of festivals are coming. So that data collection and keeping is one area. That's where the market innovation or market related idea gathering is coming. Okay. So for this, definitely the data gathering is important, like the lifestyle, region, even ethnic origin. This all been collected and it has been kept. And this analysis gives accurate, predictions to keep how much stock and what kind of, discounts can be offered. Okay, so that is the first area. The second, this is going one level more, where the customers are much more intimately approached in the form of loyalty bonus and then instant delivery address and after sales service. Okay. So these all further reveals they can reach you. Okay. Today, if you see who all knows our address, you will be really surprised that you use the aggregated taxi. They all know where all you are going, every address what you drop, that data is with them. Okay. Then you take this Swiggy, Zomato, these brands, they know what you eat. Okay. So even now, Dunzo, these all models, even the cigarettes being purchased to them, they know what brand of cigarette you smoke and what, even liquor also they are bringing and giving. So in a way, everything about you very personally been identified, and then the offers being given to you very much personalized. Okay. This is where customer innovation, it gets also the feedback from the customer and the extension of the loyalty bonus and very customized services being offered, offers being given. This way, again, I'm collecting and profiling you. Okay. So this is essential for Industry 4.0 because that's where the intelligence comes. Okay. If I'm not getting what is that going to move in the market, then there is no intelligence over there, and I'm not linking the things together. Okay. The third area, if you take the product innovation. Okay. The product innovation, it means what? There are many products being improved based upon the customer feedback. Okay. It means you purchase a car, you purchase any gadget, you will be giving pros, cons, very detailed analysis you are only giving. Okay. And you are becoming an R&D expert for them, and this data being collected, maybe sometimes they may drop the personal identity from where they got the data, but you are also contributing. Okay. So this way, the data collection is becoming very, very important. So if you see, the Industry 4.0 cannot work without intervening with the customer, without collecting the data from the customer. Okay. So the customer data with the privacy elements or without privacy elements, that becomes the vital point of Industry 4.0. So that is where the vulnerability comes. Where the vulnerability comes, okay, these all data, unlike earlier, they completely SAP or kind of ERP centralized databases, high secure applications. These data now going to the shop floor. Okay, not only the shop floor, even various points it is being distributed. You all know recently, maybe around 4 or 5 months before, one of the famous pizza brand, the data being compromised. Okay. Though they claim it is not from their primary database, the data somewhere it has been collected. It definitely, I think so. Though it is not officially revealed, it would have been collected from this kind of dissemination points. Okay. For the want of automation, for the want of independent decision making at various points, the data being disseminated mindlessly, and moreover, these technologies what has been deployed in all these distributed points are not to the level the centralized security what has been implemented at the enterprise applications. Okay. Because of that, from there the data being leaked. Okay, such data many times. In fact, we got the access to that data. It was sold onto the dark web, and we also got access to that. And in fact, I put my brother's mobile number, and I downloaded. Roughly he purchased in 1 year 28,000 rupees worth of pizza. Okay. And to multiple addresses. Okay. When I sent, he was surprised that how you got this data. Okay. So that's how. Okay. The data, when it is collected, it should be responsibly handled at all the points, which may or may not be possible in implementing these new technology and new models in the organization. So that's where the vulnerability and risk comes. Okay. And about these three major innovation points, in the shop floor also, there is something called cobots, okay, which is a collaborative robots. This is to, do a skilled, from the skilled labor. They want to utilize the skilled labor in a much more efficient way. So the monotonous activity or mechanical repetitive activities, they want to hand over to robots. So by this way, the machine learning or the deep learning techniques being implemented into the shop floor level, and these robots will continuously watch the movements of the shop floor employee, the personnel who is in the shop floor, and then they understand what is their requirement. Accordingly, that can be programmed to assist. Okay, that can be stacking something, or giving the tools in right place, putting the tools in right place, or various advanced techniques also it can be used. So now what is the trouble here? In the earlier days, we industrial engineers do a work study and time study. Okay, these studies are really used for the purpose of improving the organization's production efficiency. So by hacking these robots or getting this data, multiple things been revealed. Okay, one, I can see the employee behavior also, and as well as the valuable data what has been collected and programmed in this robots also can be revealed. Okay, this also at the shop floor level, what kind of data been collected, and it is capable of hearing also. Okay. So it is not only that, even in the office environment, this is very Kaila, dolls are very famous. Okay, which is primarily given to the kids. And it can hear the voice of the conversation from the kids, and then can react accordingly. And it has been programmed, the data being sent to the seller of the toys, and then from there the responsive answers being given. So these toys also can become dangerous. It can reveal various aspects of your kids. Not only the kids, when you are around them, that also can be transmitted. Various your conversations also can be transmitted. So in this way, the moment you implement something of automated status, these data, what has been collected, every moment of you is becoming, a privacy data being revealed to the public. Okay, there is a possibility of revealing to the public. So these are all the key challenges in this. Okay, while implementing the Industry 4.0, though it is meeting various business objectives and the efficiency, the implementation challenges always there. That is what the concern for the privacy, data privacy. Okay. And these are some of the things merging one old and new systems. Whenever this kind of implementation going, there are possibilities that the properly prescribed technology controls not implemented. Okay, because of that, chances of data leakage is possible. Okay. Then now the focus, is not happening now. It is happening for the past 10 years. Right from the one we know what happened in Iran nuclear plant, since that kind of attacks also very much targeted onto these industrial systems and SCADA and PLC systems, it has been implemented because of the reason. Unlike your normal operating systems and other endpoint operating system, these all not very often patched, and then even the programs also not tested. So stringently. Because of that, these all very easily compromisable, and that creates more vulnerability. And the moreover, if these devices stores any residue of the personal data, that becomes all the more vulnerable. Okay. So it can happen in multiple layer, and application layer attacks also can happen, and data service layer, network layer, in all the layers, even in industrial IoT systems, attacks can happen. Okay. The more you store and more you make those systems independent, and it has its own storage and it has its own data, then protecting becomes very tedious, and it is capable of revealing various data. Okay. So if you take, it is a merger of operational technology and information technology. Okay. So there are perspectives or expectations from the information technology related, the perspectives were related to the data protection. The same thing comes from the operational technology. So it is a gel between both. So this industrial IoT needs to address all this. Okay, it's a merger of both. Okay. So that's where we need to put more effort in implementing effective controls based upon the frameworks. Otherwise, this will become further nightmare to the all the consumers. Okay. So if you take, you may think that it is happening in a manufacturing setup, maybe automotive or any other consumer goods. It is not only happening there, it happens everywhere. Even in the hospitals, it is happening, and various places where highly sensitive data being collected, those places also, these implementations are happening. So we need to have an integrated model where whenever these automation and IoT models being implemented, we need to consider that all of those points also as an intelligent terminals and the endpoint devices, and the same technology, the technical controls what we have implemented in the information technology systems, that has to be extended to the operational technology also. That is what the primary way where we can protect this data privacy. Okay. Why I'm again telling, it is not only the operational data about the operational parameters. It contains various consumer data to deliver the goods to them, and also the user experience. These all various things being collected. Okay. The vulnerability, as I mentioned again, these systems are very small space. It is used in a very small memory and footprint. So the technical controls not very well implemented. Because of that, it becomes more vulnerable. So we need frameworks to address these, and then it has to comply with the regulatory requirements at all the time. Okay. So another point which I would like to touch upon is the big data. Okay. So now what happens, this all data again collected and then put to the big data databases for analyzing and then getting the meaningful result out of it. So what is the big problem in this is the source of this collection is various place. Okay. Then when it combined together, the de-identified data is becoming re-identified. Okay. Because of that, the anonymization of the data becoming impossible. Okay. Because your interaction with one brand or even multiple brand, across the brand also the data being collected and analyzed. So in one place you reveal 3 data elements, in other place another 3 data elements, and in the primary place where you may have your core identity data. When they merge all these things, there is a high chance of revealing who you are with full details. Okay. So your de-identification techniques also to be revamped when you are implementing this kind of framework around your organization. what data you are collecting in A point, what data you are collecting in B point. Is it possible when we merge both, will it cause a violation in the privacy principles? These all, okay, the previous session, many discussions happened on the privacy by design. This is where the privacy by design we have to apply, and we have to see the overall architecture, how it has been developed. Okay. So there are special, frameworks and control models are published by various entities, and these all, Industrial Internet Consortium has published a very strong paper on how to implement these technologies into various points, and then what need to be. If you see the model, it is nothing different from a normal IT, our implementation. Okay. So the deployment environment, how it has to be taken, development of environment, how it has to be taken. Okay. Similarly, this also probably we may have to have a SOC for monitoring these IoT devices and the IoT communications, all this intelligent device communication, that also definitely we need to have. And also we need to enable the policy, because it is not human over there. These automated policy, technical policies has to be implemented at various points to comply with the various regulations in which the industry operates. Okay. So these are all the new frameworks are coming, and I think we all have to equip ourselves for meeting those requirements also. Okay. And another one, reference architecture also there. In that reference architecture for Industry 4.0, you see here the privacy also been one of the important criteria. Okay. So they know very well that the Industry 4.0 intelligence is more based upon the consumer behavior analysis and the consumer data analysis. Okay, so that's where the privacy should be an integral part of the Industry 4.0. That's what we need to take as the important aspect in this. Okay. And to say the final word, yesterday also I heard that the things our devices, what we hold, it knows more than what we actually know about us. Okay. And the device manufacturer and the person who is handling the entire ecosystem, he knows much more than what device has collected, and he comes with the further more inference. Okay. So by that way, what will happen tomorrow? The consumer or the human will become a robot. We may have to abide by what the data says. Okay. So we need to be very careful, and this is what the vulnerability, because what we are doing all over this 5 sense and the 6th sense, what human race has got, that we are giving to the automated systems. These systems will be applying the artificial intelligence, and it has all the sensors whatever we have now. Okay. And it has much more freedom to peek into anybody's life. Okay. And you walk on the road, camera is monitoring. You speak on the phone, it is being taken. And if you browse, whatever you do, every point, at least human has some limitation in collecting the data, but this all intelligent system has no limitations. So that makes much more vulnerable that the people, including the machines, knows more about what you or your family members knows. Of course, if your family members knows more about you, your life is easy. But if somebody else knows more about you, your life is miserable. Yeah. That's what my last slide. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity, sir. And it's really a good initiative and tremendous effort put by Mr. Navi. He needs a big applause, okay, more than me. Okay, thank you very much.
Great, Mr. Navi, sir, for the kind of session. Quite interesting, and you have touched upon all the important areas, right, as part of the Industry 4.0. There are few questions I have just consolidated. I will not take much of your time. I'm trying to put that. The first question is from Dr. Limaye. He asks, when company collects the data, how much data is necessary for company's benefit, and what data is collected with the intention to sell the same?
Yeah, So various regulations talks about the data minimization principles, but a typical habit is collect and keep it. It will be useful in the future, like that. People doesn't bother about that, and that makes the trouble. Okay, so data minimization requirement is part of our privacy by design.
Right.
So naturally, we need to see and also in a way in the future, as a data fiduciary, we may have to give explanation whether it is needed for your business and for the purpose. So that answerable situation is there. So naturally, the
Great.
organization has to put more focus onto that.
Excellent. The second question is from Mr. Limay too. What's your call on mandating data protection impact assessments mandatory prior to launching any electronic product in the market?
Yes, I think it is an essential requirement, and not only that, along with the product catalog, and while installing and using, instead of having such a very lengthy, privacy principles and policies, they have to give a nutshell that these all things will be collected and this can be used for this purpose. Before purchasing itself, they should ask. After purchasing, if you see that, that's of no use.
Excellent. The question from Reena: have there been any data breaches in the Industry 4.0 arena? Any incident with GE that you know of, and what kind of data was involved in the breach?
So as far as there are many incidents have been revealed by both Thales and as well as Kaspersky. In this period, in the last 3 years period, in this industry, the IoT systems been compromised to more than 350% of increase in the attacks into this environment. Okay. The data been collected. I do not have very particular data about GE. Of course, possible. 13485 now again, insisting that these things also need to be taken care while collecting and storing the data into the core storage locations.
Absolutely, you touched upon. As part of the 13485, it expects each organization to perform the cyber security risk assessment, right? Based on the ISO standard 80,000-1 and part 2. Quite interesting. You are right. You touched upon. All right. The last question, sir. Are there any regulatory requirements for Industry 4.0? Does it cover the personal data? How does it vary from the data subject centric GDPR as an example?
Yeah, see, actually speaking, the existing framework itself was sufficient. The reason is the ways and means of collecting the data is different. Okay, and also if you see in both our country's law and as well as GDPR, the automated decision making already been included. Okay, so the automated decision making is part of it, comes under the scope of this. Okay. The ways and means, earlier you were asking to fill in the HTML form. Now I am reading from the point in which you are interacting with me. Okay. That doesn't make any difference. The existing framework should do. Probably certain reasonable controls what has been established or not, that is becoming your ethics and the due diligence. That point of view, you may have to see that the technology what you are deploying is free from any such vulnerabilities.
Excellent, sir. Thank you very much for your answering questions and quite interesting session. Let me also take the privilege of thanking you on behalf of FDPPI, on behalf of all the participants. And I know that how difficult for you to really accommodate this time to spare for this session. Really appreciate and thank you very much, and would like to have subsequent sessions in the coming days as part of our regular programs too. Thank you very much, sir. Have a nice evening.